Up next, we have our consent agenda, which are items 1 and 2.
We have a couple of items here on our consent agenda. I would invite anyone up who would like to speak on the consent agenda. That would be items 1 or 2. Is there anyone who would like to speak on the consent agenda? Yep.
Yes, I would like to speak.
Back again. Welcome, Mayor.
What a surprise. What a pleasure.
Yes. Oh, how quickly you lose track of how the agenda works. Well, good afternoon. This is really a special day, and not just because we are just expressing so much appreciation for our team and how excellent they are, but also because we have people stepping into new roles. And I am just so pleased to stand before you today to nominate Michon Morrow for Chief of the Lincoln Police Department. And when I recently announced my nomination of Michon Morrow as our city's permanent Chief of Police, I shared how I was prioritizing someone who is an experienced and trusted leader, who is devoted to delivering on LPD's mission of keeping our community safe, and who understands and cares deeply for both our residents and the members of our police department. As acting chief for the last 8 months, Michon affirmed what I long thought to be true, that she is a wise, compassionate, collaborative, resolute, and strong leader who is skilled at building the relationships that are at the heart of community policing and a thriving police department. And going forward, I'm confident she will continue to lead the department with the same excellence that has defined her nearly 29 years of service at LPD. I've enjoyed working with Chief Nominee Morrow for several of these years in her capacity as Southwest Team Captain, as Assistant Chief, and most recently as Acting Chief. And I look forward to working with her in her new role as she continues to lead the Lincoln Police Department with humility, compassion, strength, skill, integrity, and a focus on enhancing public safety for all. A few weeks ago, Chief Nominee Morrow outlined 4 priorities for the department under her leadership: recruitment, retention, resiliency, and respect. And these priorities reflect her commitment to fostering a collaborative and inclusive police force dedicated to serving and protecting Lincoln's diverse and growing community. And to deliver on these priorities, Chief Nominee Morrow will draw from a deep reservoir of law enforcement experience and dedication. Her own experience and devotion would be plenty, but it's worth noting that both she and her husband, Kenny Morrow, who I believe is here as well, he joined in LPD in 1998. They have a combined 55 years of serving and protecting the Lincoln community. And she also follows in her father's footsteps, who was Chief of Police in Lexington and later served as Executive Director of the Nebraska Crime Commission. I didn't know Michon's dad, James Jonasson, but I feel certain that if he were here today, he would be incredibly proud of his daughter. As am I, and I respectfully request your support for Chief Nominee Michon Morrow as she steps up to serve as Lincoln's next police chief. And at this time, I would like to invite Michon up to say a few words. Chief Nominee Morrow.
Well, I got a little misty-eyed. Thank you. I am so incredibly humbled to be here in front of all of you today. And I thought that I was going to be able to hold myself together. But thank you for mentioning my father. We lost him 3 years ago, and I know that he is proud of me. And I am just so humbled to be here in front of you and hear the kind words and the support that we have had since the nomination was announced. And for those, it's a busy day at LPD, and for those that were able to step over, I truly appreciate all of them. And what I want to reiterate today with all of you and our community, as well as those that I serve within the Lincoln Police Department, is we're moving forward collectively as a team. And that's one team. And it doesn't matter if they are commissioned or professional staff, if there are officers that are working on the street, taking the calls for service, or our criminal investigators that are doing follow-up on some of the more significant crimes in Lincoln, that we all have a purpose and we're all serving under one umbrella mission, and that's to serve our community, though we do it in different roles. That our pledge is to make sure as leaders within our organization that they all feel valued and supported. And part of that goes to the resiliency, recruitment, retention, and respect that we laid out in the press conference on how we're going to move forward with leadership within the Lincoln Police Department. I'm excited. I'm nervous, right? We're going to work really hard to get it right. We recognize that we might not always hit the mark, but what we promise is that whether we do or we don't, that we're going to be available for the conversation, the challenging conversations, to share our why, to hear the concerns from our community, our city council members, business organizations, that we are serving our larger community, and that we're going to be present and we're going to show up every day, regardless of what the topic of conversation is. And that's how I believe that we'll continue to lead as a community-based law enforcement organization into the future. So I don't want to take up too much time. Again, I am extremely humbled and grateful for this opportunity, and just appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate it. We have a few more items to go through, and then before we get to our voting session. So let's go do that here quickly. Is there anyone else here who would like to speak on items 1 or 2 on our consent agenda? Anyone else here to speak on items 1 or 2 on our consent agenda? Okay, very good. Madam Clerk, please, let's move us through that.
Okay, we can now vote on these items. Item 1A is approving Michon Morrow as Chief of Police, effective March 19th, 2024, introduced by Shob.
So moved.
Second, Carlson. Discussion?
I'd like to make that
Yeah.
second a second by acclamation.
This is exciting.
This is exciting.
Chief Morrow mentioned that she was nervous. I'm not. Chief Morrow has shown through her years of leadership her dedication to not only the department, but the city at large as well. And I look forward to continuing to work with you over the years. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Weber,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Carlson,
Yes.
Duden,
2 yeses.
Whoa.
Shob,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Beckius.
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0.
Yay.
We will give just a little bit of time for folks who would, our award winners, our honorees, and the new chief of police, a little bit of time to exit the chamber here. Just one moment.